Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. Council meeting on February 21st, 2023. Although it says 2022.
2022.
It is 2023, so let's do the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Madam Clerk, let's do the roll call.
Okay. Good evening. Councilman Larson.
Here.
Councilman Dickerson.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Councilman Castillo.
Here.
And Councilman Burchard.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum of the council.
Oh, thank you. Just so everyone knows, Emily is attending the meeting from virtually at home because she had her baby. So, yay! Revan Castillo was born, well, Emily, hopefully she doesn't mind me saying this, but the last work session we had, we put her right into labor. Right after that. So 2.5-hour meetings, that's why we're going to try to keep it as tight as we can tonight. But anyways, that's why she's not here, but she's attending over the phone. So Monica, let's do the announcements, I guess. Just so everyone knows, Alpine, we had our 34th birthday yesterday. So February 20th of 89 is when we were incorporated, I guess. And next year for the 35th, you know, we need to do a big blowout. Let's figure out what it is. So we'll have a party planning committee for that. Monica, do you want to take the rest of those?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know, Melody's doing a lot of really good work on the calendar of events. So please check out our website, which is www.alpinewy.gov. She's keeping them updated. She's also sending that information out via email, and she's working on a text program to be able to keep you in the loop about what's going on in the Alpine area. Bingo in the month of March will be on the 3rd and the 17th, 7 p.m. at the Civic Center. Just wanted to note that the March 3rd bingo is half of the 50-50 drawing is going to be donated to the Parks and Rec Committee. So be great to see you guys support them. I wanted to note that the Alpine Library has a lot of really great children programs. The majority of them are on Tuesdays and Thursdays scheduled throughout March when I looked at the calendar. If you have kiddos, check it out. It looked like a lot of really fun, great youth programs. So as you all know, the Winter Jubilee Light Parade and Fireworks was postponed due to weather. It has been rescheduled, and it is going to be on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. The parade's going to begin at 7:30. Fireworks are scheduled for 8:15 that evening. And the Parks and Rec Committee wanted me to remind you that the Easter egg hunt is on April 8th, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. So yeah, that's what we've got coming up.
Thank you. So next onto the consent agenda. Monica, do you want to read the little paragraph before,
Absolutely.
just so we get it on the record?
So we just want to note that when approval of consent agenda items, those items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed hereafter. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered on the regular agenda.
So has everyone had a chance to read through the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion for approval of consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion and it was seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
There's a delay.
All, okay.
There's generally a 7-second delay.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Emily. I'll pick up on that.
Sorry, there's a delay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. We'll make sure you get your vote heard for sure. Motion passed, so we passed the consent agenda.
Hold on just a minute.
Yep.
So they can only get 2 people through. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone, because we are in the meeting. They can only get 2 people on conference call on my cell phone, so they need a third.
They can call mine.
Okay. So I'm gonna,
Sorry, more technical difficulties.
Mark, let me send you a text with the mayor's cell phone number.
You want to just send them my contact?
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna
Sorry we couldn't get up there. We tried really hard to get on a plane, but it just wasn't possible.
Well, it seems like every time you're on the agenda, that's what happens.
We're trying to get that other call in right now.
So give me the mayor's number, is that what you're?
I'm gonna text it over to you right now.
Okay. But if you can just give it to me if you know what it is.
Well, we're on a public meeting, sir. And it's being Facebook Lived and on YouTube.
You're on a hot mic.
Roger.
There you go. If you want to have somebody call that number I just texted you.
Still waiting, let's see.
Oh, I think I just texted to the wrong number. I typoed your number.
63 is 307 630 3224.
Yeah.
Didn't see it come through. Oh,
Did you get it?
no. Got a text from someone else, but it's my got a text from my paralegal said schools council.
Should we just?
Do you
move
want
down
to
the
go
list for a
ahead
second?
to,
Yeah.
why don't you do the Alpine Music Festival?
Let's
I'll
do
get
it.
Him straight.
Do we have Caitlin here to talk about the music fest? Guess we don't have Caitlin here. Let's move down the list here. The next action item is Sanderson Law Office compensation adjustment. Just so everyone knows, I reached out to our town attorney and wanted to make sure that he's being compensated for these extra meetings that we're having, at least one additional meeting a month. He didn't come to us, and he graciously came back to us with a number of $2,600 a month instead of $2,000. So we've been putting a lot on him recently, so eventually that'll slow down, I'm sure, but
Maybe.
No guarantees.
I hope so. No.
No guarantees, but we appreciate your consideration for that. Has everyone had a chance to look at that,
Yeah,
his letter?
that's for the additional meeting, the work session.
That's for his retainer, his monthly
Yeah,
retainer.
his retainer, but to include the extra time for the work session.
It's the extra
cetera.
meeting and the extra preparation that goes into the
Yeah,
meeting, so.
Yeah, it's basically for the meetings. And,
Occasional phone
yeah,
call.
so
There's been a lot, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
with that being said, does anyone have a motion?
Do we need a motion?
I think you need, because you're gonna be eventually, a motion to approve the attorney fee to go up to $2,600.
Make a motion to approve attorney's fees to go up to $2,600 per month.
Second.
Any discussion, any questions regarding that? Emily, are you,
Oh, I just had one question, and honestly, it was more about the weather, because obviously we're in deep winter right now. If it was more convenient for Sanderson to Zoom in to the workshop, I just wanted to throw that idea out there and see what he was comfortable with, if that would save some travel time coming from Afton.
I appreciate the consideration. I actually live in Thane, so, it's not that big of a deal as far as travel time, and sometimes like tonight, I don't get.
Oh, perfect. I didn't realize you were closer. Okay, well, that's wonderful then.
it's nice to have him here in the room as well, so we appreciate you being here. Any
It is
other-
very nice to have you in person.
Yeah, any
It's-
other discussion?
It's harder for me to shut you off if I'm here, so.
Yeah. Any further discussion?
Just thanks for what you do.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All those in favor of the new compensation for Sanderson Law Office, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. Monica, where do we stand on ordinance 300?
Did anybody try to call your phone? Because he
Nope.
hung up with me after I gave him your number.
Okay, well, we'll keep moving down the list. Monica, do you want to talk about Wade Hershey?
Yeah, so, he is a CPA out of Afton who does a lot of government accounting. There's a lot of differences between, we have multiple QuickBooks companies, and so and we're gonna look to shift into a software that is for government accounting. We're already utilizing that software for clerk, for
Water bills.
water bills, permit, business licenses, and I think dog and cat licenses as well. And so I know there's been a lot of discussion historically about shifting some of the codes and planning and zoning responsibilities and permitting into, into that as well. So part of that process, though, is we really need to get all the accounts the same. And so we'd like to bring Mr. Hershey on to assist us in creating a consistent chart of accounts as we go into this transition. The other thing is there's some historical things about payroll differences that have been done that we just want some auditing done just to ensure that everything was proper. So that's what,
He's really going to get everything set up for us for the future
For the
with our new
future more than
accounting
anything.
system and be able to help us with the budget process, because that's super important. The new software is going to help us with all that stuff and really streamline it. So we're looking forward to that. Do we need anything formalized?
yeah, you
Now
just
it's-
need to vote on it.
Okay. Has everyone looked at the engagement letter for Mr. Hershey?
Yes.
I wonder if they're having service problems.
Here's a call. Hello?
Hey, is this Mayor
Yes.
Green? This is
Are
Justin.
you there now?
Okay, do we have,
Hey, Monica, I've got Ed.
They should be calling in just a second, Monica, I think.
I think we've got them here. We're gonna put you guys on mute for a minute while we attend to some other business, and then we'll get to you guys in just a minute.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Just do them this.
well, we are, but we're just gonna finish this first. Yep.
You still in, Mark? Yep, I'm here. Hey. What's our basketball team look like this year?
Oh, boy. Okay, do we have a motion for the Wade Hershey CPA?
Make a motion to hire Wade Hershey, CPA, with PC, for 2023, and to help get us set up on our new software.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? No questions?
Just, what was the start date? Is it effective immediately, or is it once we get the software
So
in?
he's gonna do a little bit of cleanup work soon, and then he will be involved in helping us with the transition. So yeah, he's gonna be doing some work soon, and a lot of it though's gonna be, you'll see a lot more of it in budget and at the end of fiscal year, because he's gonna help with that transition of transitioning the current chart of accounts into a new chart of accounts as well, and make sure that all matches up, and probably do some closeout to, just to make sure that that's all done. Our concern is you can, when you shift, you can create some unintended consequences, and we certainly don't want to do that. We want somebody just to have that support.
We're looking for him to get
Yeah.
started right away.
Yeah.
So, any further discussion? All those in favor of hiring Wade Hershey CPA for his services, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. So we'll get Wade on board here. Okay. We're gonna shift back to ordinance 300. Monica, you wanna take that?
Okay, so we have before us the third reading of 300 ordinance number 2022-18. It's an ordinance annexing certain lands to the town of Alpine and approving the True Grit Land Development LLC Tract B annexation to the town of Alpine.
We have, why don't you guys introduce yourself that we have on the phone here?
Yeah, I'll go
I'm
first.
owner of True Grit. Mark Macy, attorney for True Grit.
Justin Beckner, Civil Works, and I'm the engineer on it.
Okay. Hopefully everyone can hear in the chambers here as well. We have a few people that were obviously interested in this, neighbors next to the potential annex property. And we haven't had a chance to speak to you guys in a little bit, so I'll let you guys take the wheel here for a second and just give us your comments on the overall development.
Yeah, we're looking at moving forward on it with a site plan submittal once we get it annexed into the town. We had been waiting on a market study. We have received that back, but it was just recently, and so we haven't had a lot of time with it. What they are recommending is multifamily in that area. We haven't had even time to really absorb what that means and what that's going to look like, but that's kind of the concept that we're we're thinking of at this time. And as I had mentioned at the previous meetings, our plan is to do a neighborhood meeting with Alpine Meadows as soon as we can get up there. And now that we have a little more information, we're going to kind of lay some stuff out and then get up there, do a neighborhood meeting, and that way we can start the process of the site plan.
Okay.
This is Mark Macy. Is Jim Sanderson in the room?
I am.
Yes, we have our attorney here.
You know, I'm the attorney for True Grit, and the way I understand the annexation is what we have before the city council is our application, but at this point, where we are at, the annexation has everything that we have submitted is on point, and what we're going to put on the land is to be determined. And we don't have, the city at this point doesn't have jurisdiction until we submit a site plan. So that is my understanding of the Wyoming statutes on annexation. So I just want to make sure and assure everybody that once we get the annexation approved, we will be, submitting all the required site plan and everything else that gives everyone a lot of information on what we're planning. But at this point, we just have not done, haven't been able to get that. So I don't think that what we're going to put on the land at this point is subject of discussion, and I say that respectfully, to the city council at this point.
Yeah, I will tell you that you have some concerned citizens. Obviously, your neighbors want to get as much information as they can, and kind of the lack of a plan up to this point is what I've been hearing is concern to them. So as far as, go ahead.
Well, what we'd like to do is sit down with our neighbors and talk to them and tell them what they would like to see and what we would like to plan. But it takes the annexation first to get the land in within the city. So we're going to get there. It just takes a little. We got to get one foot in front of the other first.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, this is Edward. The other thing we were concerned about is without having the annexation, to go through full blown out design of a given product is a lot of money. And so I wanted to make sure that we were able to be annexed before we start doing a lot of detailed drawings and drafting, so we can bring, a real great concept to the neighborhood and to you folks. So without having that final reading of annexation, I just can't spend all that money for nothing. I hope you can understand. Thank you.
Yep, it's understandable. Is there any more comments from the people we have on the line?
I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Then we can further the discussion.
Make a motion for approval of ordinance 300 number 2022-18 True Grit Land Development LLC Tract B, annexation to the town of Alpine.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Open it up to discussion. And you guys have any questions before we get to the people?
I'd go with
Okay.
people first.
I'd just like to note that
Yep.
in the papers that I printed out last minute, there was a letter that Christine received, late this afternoon. It's a comment on the project, on the ordinance,
Okay.
so.
Do you want to read that, or do you just want to put it into the
No,
record?
I just
Okay.
think I just wanted to draw your attention to it, make sure you saw it.
Yeah. I also had a discussion with, the air park, manager, and they have some concerns. Is that you? Are you Lynn? Okay. They had some concerns, regarding flight path and height of buildings and things of that nature. So, just so everybody knows, the conversation started, and definitely, I think this is the best way to approach the development and the subdivision, to get it into the town, and then we can have a say. Because basically, if they stayed in the county, they could build whatever the heck they wanted, really. I mean, heights of buildings and everything, I don't know if there's a limit. I mean, there probably is some limit, but I think it's way better to be in the town. We'll definitely help facilitate communication and conversation with the developer. Any other?
I know Lynn wanted to.
Okay, Lynn, do you want to go ahead and,
I'd like to just make a couple.
yeah, please stand up at that mic and turn it on if you don't mind, and give them your name.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's a big round button.
It didn't go, there you go.
Test, got it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Lynn Ferguson, the airport manager for Alpine Air Park, and I'm here to address some concerns about the Annexation B, True Grit, next to Alpine Meadows. As the air park manager, I want to address the safety, building height, location, and try to be proactive about mitigating noise complaints. Right now, the way it works is we ask our pilots to take a 15-degree right turn as they exit or as they depart the airport, as soon as they get enough elevation to make a turn. That keeps them away from sensitive neighborhoods, Alpine Meadows as much as we can, keeps us away from the city. And so that's a very important corridor right there, which is right where True Grit is asking to have this annexation. That provides some safety if an engine out would happen. It is also basically, I guess the biggest thing is it decreases noise from landing and departing traffic. Typically, we ask pilots to always exit the other way and operate over the reservoir as winds permit. But winds do change, and for safety of landing and departing, sometimes we have to come towards town. So this annexation means that that corridor will now be occupied, and we will be going right over the top of True Grit, both incoming and outgoing. And so that's important that that they know that, and the city knows that. I would like to see the city and True Grit to protect us all from issues with noise complaints. I would suggest that this area has a written, what do they call it? A written real estate disclosure for developers, tenants, owners, so that they realize they're moving in next to an airport, an air park. I think that's really important, because if they realize that then from the beginning, then that helps. And as an air park, we also try to do what we can do to mitigate the noise, but there's a certain level that, is always there. So a written real estate disclosure would be a big thing, I think, to protect the town, the developer, owners, tenants, and the air park. Secondly, there is some work that I think still needs to be done about height restriction to see if the FAA has, I don't know if you call it a rule or a law,
that within so many feet at such an angle, a glide angle from the end of the airport, that you can't have buildings within that height restriction. If they're built within that height restriction without getting, I call it a variance, but it's a special form, and there is an incident with the Annex B buildings and an aircraft, then huge fines can follow. So we need to protect the city, and we need to protect True Grit needs to be protected or protect themselves by doing more homework on that. So I'd like to see them do more homework. I am excited about being able to get together if I can, or the air park can be involved with this meeting with Alpine Meadows. We'd like to be in it too. If it's going to happen, maybe we can make it the best for everybody, hopefully.
Yep.
So, I guess in conclusion, I strongly suggest and the air park would like to see a real estate disclosure, a written one for people that are associated with this moving in, buying, or developing. More homework needs to be done to protect the city also from liability of this height restriction. And I think that's it. That's enough.
All right,
Huh?
thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments from the people in attendance? Emily, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Well, I think I had just heard the same concern. I'm glad that Lynn brought up the FAA. I hadn't considered that angle. But there is, as we've seen with the email that Christine forwarded, there is a lot of concern with that height restriction, as well as with that easement through the neighborhood.
Right.
So I guess I just wanted to hear from Mark and Justin if they could expand on the work that they've already done on that end, so that we can gain clarity. And I do appreciate that there is expense that needs to go into certain planning, and that they are waiting for annexation to be passed. Our residents, really, we're a small town, and we want to make sure that it is lucrative for both of us, because it is lucrative for Treated to be annexed into Alpine. So the more information is better, just to put a lot of those concerns aside for our residents. Do they have any comments on the easement question?
Where do we stand on the easement? You guys on the phone, Ed, Mark, and Justin, you might be able to answer that.
That's still something that we're working through. Those are, and Lynn's as well, are really site plan issues that as we move through the process, and we appreciate him bringing those up because those are good issues to look at. But all of that's going to kind of occur with the site plan. It'll be discussions as we move forward and kind of lay out the site and figure out what the traffic pattern and everything's going to be there.
Okay. Yeah, one of the other major concerns that people in Alpine Meadows has is the additional traffic to the area. So I encourage you guys to all work together, and we'll help facilitate that meeting if it needs to happen here or whatever. But we'll, after this process, we definitely want to get everyone together and start working to make that area better for everybody. So
that's really our goal as well. It's no fun to go through this process if we're fighting completely with the neighbors. So
yeah,
we want to get them on board and have them understand what we're looking at doing before we bring it forward again at the site plan level.
okay.
This is Mark Macy. Can you get Lynn's last name and number so we can call and start, laying the pathway to a dialogue with the airport?
Absolutely. I will encourage you.
I have it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll forward it to Justin.
Monica has it, and she'll forward it to Justin, and then you guys can start that communication.
And then there was a second person too. I want to get everybody everybody's name, because we want to work with the residents here, and we want to make this, we want to get everybody's opinion so we can make this work for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone, so, okay.
Well, I think you guys just figure out when you can come to town and we'll fill the room for you, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, we hope to hear everybody's concerns and try to make this work. This is something that is important, and just to let everyone know, the actual land sits below where all the houses are right now. So we're going to be in any building is going to be at least 10 foot or 15 foot below the subdivision. So we're going to be, just consider that in mind that we're already starting below the ground level where the subdivision is at.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can get Monica, if you could get everybody's numbers and give them to Justin and I, we would like to sit down with everyone and talk through this and make sure it works for everyone.
Yep, that won't be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Any more questions or comments from the gallery? No? Okay, all those in favor of 300 ordinance number 2022-18 True Grit Land Development LLC Track B annexation to the town of Alpine. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. So, congratulations on your annexation.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
And then I will be in touch with you, Justin, about the mapping and getting everything recorded.
Perfect, thank you, and thank you to the town board there, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to working with you guys and the residents this year.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Not a problem, sorry we haven't been able to make it there.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll see you soon in person. All right. Thank you. All right. Back to the Alpine Music Festival. Is Caitlin here? We don't need to do anything about that, but Monica, do you have just a quick blurb on that and what that's regarding?
So some of you may recall that there was a music festival held at the other end of the county.
In Afton.
Valley.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. The other end of the valley, and it just didn't go, I don't think, as she had planned. And so she is moving it to Alpine, so there by the fireworks stand. So she was just coming to look for the council's support. I'm not sure if she got tied up somewhere else. So we're excited to hear more about it. I think it'll be a great event for our area.
Technically still in the county.
Yes.
Not in the actual town, but
Right.
by the fireworks stand, still close enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a date or just something?
I think it's in the end of July.
And I believe it's country
Country
music.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least it was last year, it
Yeah.
was country, new age country. Apparently there was even some hip hop country. I didn't know that was a thing, but,
Yeah. So we look forward to meeting with Caitlin and seeing if we can get more information on that. But it sounds like you could definitely bring some more people into the town for sure. All right. So next up is the Jorgensen Master Services Agreement. Monica, where everyone's
Yeah, so as all of you are aware, we've been working with Jorgensen on getting an agreement in place to be able to shift fully into using them as the town engineer. That document was presented to us, it was explored at work session, and now Mr. Sanderson had looked at it and approved, and it's in its final form, and so we have 2 final copies. It's not changed since the work session, for your approval.
Okay, so basically, we just need
We
a
need to-
resolution
We
to
just
say
need to
that-
make a motion.
make a motion and,
Yep.
and a resolution that basically says we're gonna participate in that and it gives me authorization to sign it, correct? Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval of master services agreement with Jorgensen. Do we want to do a double, also the pre-treatment as well, or do that separate?
Let's do that separate.
Yeah, so that second item is a separate item.
Okay, so, then just a motion for approval of master services agreement with Jorgensen Engineering.
Second.
Do we also need to put in there the authorization for me to sign it?
Is that necessary, Jim?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'd like to amend my motion
Thank you.
to the correction of a motion for approval for master services agreement with Jorgensen Engineering and designating Mayor Green as the authorized signer for Town of Alpine.
Second.
Thank you. We
Second,
have a
second.
motion and second, the amendment has been seconded as well. Any questions, comments, discussion?
Excited.
Yeah,
Still watching.
very excited. We've already been working with Jorgensen for going on 2 months now, so it's been great. So we're looking forward to it. Dominique, we won't put you up in front of the no. If anyone wants to,
Song and dance, song and dance.
yeah. Anyways, if there's no further discussion, any comments, questions? All those in favor of the Jorgensen Master Services Agreement and authorization for Mayor Green to sign it, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Next, let's talk about the pretreatment project compressor purchase.
So this item is part of the pretreatment project, and there apparently was a change order 2 that was submitted to the town by Cambria that did not make its way to the council. And so that was dead in the water. They since presented change order number 3 to the town council, which the town council has approved. Some of the equipment that was in change order number 2 was shifted into change order number 3. This compressor was not included in change order number 3, but it's a necessary item for the pretreatment upgrades. What the compressor is for is to allow for the automatic defoaming system. Right now, when there is an event, or if there's an event that puts high-strength waste from Melvin's into our system, it creates a foaming event at the plant, and that becomes a very labor-intensive process. So installing this system has always been part of the plan. I do believe the belief was that they could buy this compressor cheaper outside of the contract, although I wasn't here, so I'm not 100% sure. So when Jorgensen got involved, Dustin, was going through all the historical data, and there was a realization that this was never brought forward in any capacity to the town council for approval. So Dustin got 3 estimates, which were submitted to you. And the low estimate, I believe, which one? Yeah, was the Ingersoll ramp for a total of $13,016.42. And again, this is a capital purchase, part of the pretreatment facility.
Right. Do we have any questions on this? Andrea, Euro? It's a necessity, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, everyone's on board on that. So, how are we gonna word this? That we need to specify which one, right here? Okay.
Yeah, we need a motion to purchase the Ingersoll Rand, thank you, for $13,016.42,
Okay, do we have a motion?
plus tax and freight.
Do we have a motion?
Once,
Okay.
I'm just getting the, what is the
The total might
total?
change if we, well, I'm looking at page 85, I'm in the 80s on our,
Yeah, I'm in 86,
That's the
$13,016.42.
Plus tax and shipping, yeah.
okay, yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to purchase pretreatment project compressor, I'll make a motion for the purchase of a compressor from Ingersoll Rand for the pretreatment project with amount of $13,016.42. That does not include freight nor tax, so it will increase from that. And we'll say not to exceed $20,000. That's a pretty easy
good buffer.
buffer. And if there needs to be any sign off, to have Mayor Green, the designated signee for town of Alpine.
Second. Sorry.
Thanks.
Check on your parts and warranty for that jet, for that air compressor. And just all that, has a little bit of problems with getting some filters and stuff. So check that out.
I missed that, Mo, I'm sorry. Can you,
I'm sorry.
I missed I couldn't hear what you said.
It was just kind of whispering. Just check on your parts and availability and your warranty on that Ingersoll ramp. Some of our parts have been proven problematic in the past 8 months for some of our air compressors, so just have to do that.
Duly noted to check parts, warranties, inspection,
And your mechanics will-
mechanic tools.
Okay. Any further discussion? Dominique, yeah, come on up. Yeah, please.
Just one thing to note is that the quotes that Dustin pulled together are a few weeks old, and so you might notice that they are set to, I don't want to say expire, but they're good through the 24th. So you may want to purchase sooner than later. I don't expect that the quote would change drastically, but if you wait a month, it might change a little bit. Just a note on that.
And when do we actually need this?
It's a good question. I mean, you won't need it until the building comes online, but again, and the longer you wait, the more the prices could go up. There could be supply chain issues. So Dustin's counsel was to purchase sooner rather than later.
And how big is this piece of equipment?
I don't know, but yes, it would have to go somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Yes.
storage is not we don't have a ton of storage, but we'll find a place for it. But
Is it something they have in stock, or is it something that needs to be built?
I believe that they do have it in stock.
So we could potentially buy it and have them hold it and not ship it for 3 months or something.
I think that could be worked
Send a
out.
picture of our snow right now.
Just say, please.
Okay, anything else, Dominique?
No, just the other question I would have is, do you want to make the purchase or do you want Jorgensen to complete that on your behalf?
Which is cheaper.
I mean, there'd be engineering time for them to pick up the phone and send the email or whatever. But, I mean, I'm fine having them do it
Yeah,
because the
you
alternative.
guys know what you're doing.
Exactly. Make sure you get the exact right model, part number, all that stuff, because we don't want to mess that up.
Check on the warranties, the
Yes.
parts, yep. Okay.
Please make sure that you guys look into some of those other factors.
Okay, great.
Okay? Thanks, Dominique. Any other discussion? Emily, do you have anything?
No, Dominique actually addressed what my question would be, and that would be for the warranty, for the parts, how quickly everything could get here.
Okay.
And then if we wanted to do any planned care for maintenance.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? It was such a concise motion. So the question is on the motion to approve Jorgensen to purchase the compressor from Ingersoll Rand, the price not to exceed $20,000.
If there needs to be a sign off, you're the designated.
Oh, yes, and
signing.
if there is a signature required, give Mayor Green the authorization to approve the purchase. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Emily, are you on mute still?
Oh, I apologize. Yes, thank
Aye.
you.
Okay. All those opposed? The motion carries. So we will get that purchased and keep the pretreatment plant rolling forward when we get there. Monica, 503 resolution.
Yeah, so we have before the council 503 resolution number 0221, 2023, official appointments. There's a lot of appointments that need to be made at the beginning of the year. And the mayor desired to speak to the council members about what liaison appointments they were assigned to. And the first opportunity to do that was at the February work session. And so these are his liaison appointments before you.
Should we read it?
You don't have to. Jim said so.
Jim, do
But we
we need
can.
to read these to?
You don't need to read them all out if you don't want to. I mean,
They're
Okay.
in the packet.
This is on the record.
Right.
If you want to pull some and discuss them, or
Right.
you can go through and read the names and who they're, what you
Would
want
you
to
like me
appoint
to
them.
Yeah,
read them?
let's go ahead and read it, just so
Okay.
everybody at
I
home
can
knows
do
what everyone's going to be doing. But just so everyone here and at home knows, we definitely wanted to get everyone's feedback in what they're interested in being the liaison for the town. They kind of came up with specific things they want to work on. And the intention is to work with these different, work with the people in these different capacities and be giving us comments or, updates whenever, if for some reason those people can't make it to the meeting, the liaisons will be in charge of, telling the town, who, what's going on for sure. But, yeah, let's go ahead and read it, Monica.
So we have Emergency Management Coordinator, Councilman Jeremy Larson, Grant Advisory Board, Councilman Jeremy Larson, Streets and Roads, Councilman Frank Dickerson, Parks and Recreation Department, Councilman Frank Dickerson, Water and Sewer Department, Councilman Emily Castillo, Alpine Fire Department and EMS, Councilman Andrea Burchard, Planning and Zoning Department, Councilman Andrea Burchard, Special Events Coordinator and Advertising, Councilman Andrea Burchard. Alpine Economic Development, Mayor Eric Green, and Councilman Jeremiah Larson.
I'm sorry, I thought Emily was on two of them. Emily, do we have that right? And Andrea, do we have that right?
Maybe I
Let me
put
pull it up because you're right,
Andrea on
I
an
did only see
extra one.
my name once.
Did I put you on an extra one?
Well, I have 3.
Were you supposed to?
I don't know.
I thought she was supposed to have two.
Yeah, I think everybody was supposed to have 2. Did I count that correctly?
Yeah.
So I feel like Emily was supposed to be planning and zoning, right?
Let's look.
Yeah, that's what I had
Yeah.
originally submitted.
I typoed that. Good catch, Mayor Green.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah, let's make a motion and just amend
Yeah.
the ordinance, or the resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval, Resolution 503, number 02/21/2023, a resolution to designate official liaison assignments to the town of Alpine, Wyoming for the calendar year 2023, with the correction of Planning and Zoning Department to go to Councilman Emily Castillo.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded with an amendment. Any discussion? All those in favor of 503, resolution number 02/21/2023, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. So yeah, look forward to seeing how all that goes and getting updates. Next is 504 resolution. Monica?
Yeah, and so I'm gonna, at this point, I think, turn this over to our council, because I became aware prior to the meeting that it is his opinion, and rightfully so, that zoning amendments should be done by ordinance. And so historically, in the town of Alpine, they have been done by via resolution. And so I think, there's a bigger decision to make here.
So what's the recommendation? Do we need to table it, or?
Well, I think we could, I'm just gonna say it for lack of a better term, hillbilly it and say, okay, we're gonna call this a ordinance and renumber it and go back through on the next reading and fix and amend all the things that should be done. But I prepared a memo to be sent out, just
And you
talking
have
about
that.
the difference between ordinances and resolutions.
Yep.
A resolution just basically says, hey, these are the things we would like to see done. And an ordinance is a law. And my interpretation of it is when you're changing the zone on a parcel of property, you are placing law upon that zone. There are specific duties and requirements that come along with having a piece of property rezoned into, basically a different set of rules. And I know that the town's land use and development code allows this to be done by a resolution. I don't know why. I would have discussions with previous clerks about this, and oftentimes Mr. Sherville would be here and add his 2 cents on it, and I just kind of let it go. But I think it's time to stop letting it go, because I can see a future where somebody could come in and go, well, that wasn't done right. I'm going to do it like this, and you guys are going to pay the penalty for it. So we can keep it going. I know the landowner probably wants this done as quickly as possible. You could say, all right, we're going to change this to an ordinance for first reading, bring it up on first reading, and then
Is
come
that
back.
legal without advertising first?
You do have a point. and maybe we should just table it, and
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
No, and I do have a bigger concern that, because clearly it's not just this one. There was one in September that, when I was here, that went before the town council and was done by resolution. And it sounds like historically, for quite a few years, they have all been done in this manner. So I'm wondering how we rectify that, how we memorialize that. Do we pull one big big
The
ordinance
way I
together?
see
and-
it being done is that we're going over a new master plan,
Okay,
and that's how we'll take it.
and then that'll finalize it.
But we might as well just
Okay.
call a cutoff point here, and unfortunately,
Okay.
these folks have to be the ones that have to be called on,
Okay.
and they're gonna have to go through the 3 reading process.
Okay. Yeah, we want to do it the right way, so we just want to avoid any potential conflicts going down the pipe, so, do we need to have a motion to table it, or do we just
Yeah,
table it?
let's just do a motion to
Okay.
table it.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to table Resolution 504, number 02/21/2023, rezoning Lot 12 of the Palisade Heights subdivision from commercial zoning to mixed residential commercial zoning, otherwise known as MRC.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, any discussion? Brett, yeah, please come in. Tell everyone at home your name too.
Brett Bennett, Alpine Architectural Studio, representing Creative Properties on this one. I wasn't aware of the discussion about changing the code, so I just want to understand, are we using this project to change the code? Does the code have to be changed? Or as it stands today, are we still under the resolution process? I just want to make sure I understand that.
The way I see it is that there's a flaw in the way the P and Z code is written. And so if the law's wrong, somebody needs to stand up and say, hey, it's wrong. I'm sorry, we shouldn't be doing it that way. We won't be doing it that way. So this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to follow the appropriate ordinance procedure. It just means it's going to go into 3 readings. I don't think that there's an issue with it being passed, because obviously the planning and zoning said, hey, we're okay with this. It's just going to
Just has to go
delay
through the
that
proper process.
rezoning until your 3 readings are done.
Okay, and then is there going to be a change in the ordinance, the town ordinance, to support
Yes.
that as well?
We actually are going through that, and that's been noted and then will be changed.
Okay,
So it won't happen again.
understandable.
And just to clarify, so, I mean, if we have it, we'll have March, April, May would be our 3rd reading. So that's when, we could handle this ordinance specifically.
So they would run concurrently, or would we have to wait until that ordinance is changed?
No, we would have an ordinance, the first reading next month.
Yep.
And then have subsequent months after our 3rd reading. Basically, that would be put into law, the change,
Your
if that's what's
zoning
agreed.
change, yeah.
Your zoning
Yep.
change would happen in May, after the 3rd reading, if it were approved at that point. But what Jim's talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have a bigger issue that we're going to be changing our land use development code, and we're gonna handle that during the master planning process, which is
Okay.
ongoing right now.
So in our case, we are still talking 3 months, we're not talking 6. I guess the other question is, just so the council understands, that this particular property had an apartment building on it prior to the LUDC, and then it was zoned commercial, so the town made it non-conforming, and we're trying to fix that with this process.
Right.
Okay. And, I mean, there are provisions that you could technically do 2 readings in 1 meeting. So,
I say we could also, one of our
Yeah.
workshops, make
I
it
could advertise it
actual item
yeah.
to do a reading there.
To do it, yeah, right before
Since
the
we call-
workshop. We could call a
Call
short
special
meeting
meeting
to do
before the
that.
workshop or something,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll look into those options. We hate to hold you guys up or whatever, but I think it's probably best to just, sorry, you're the one we've got to
Yeah.
pick on.
Well, it's obviously your call. I just wanted to make sure you understood the history of the property in picking this particular one where we're trying to fix something,
Yeah.
but, okay.
Is it gonna hold you up, Brett?
The owners, yes. So,
When are they planning on?
so the reason for MRC is to clean up the non-conforming use. We know we have a setback issue, but this was built probably in the 90s. And the owner would like to build some more residential use on that property. And so we felt that this was the best solution to kind of fix that whole package.
So, I mean, I guess if we're fast tracking it, so we call a special meeting for the first reading at the next workshop. So that's this first part of March.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks after, you'll have the second reading, which you could put it in the second reading, the middle of March, and then the third reading would be the 1st of April. Are they going to be?
Is that gonna hold them up a bunch?
I know that they want to work, a positive environment with the town and council. So I think that's the answer. I think everyone's in agreement with it. That's the feeling I've gotten. So we need to go through your process. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't aware of the resolution versus 3 reading thing until now. That's the only reason I'm bringing this
Sorry
up.
for that. That just literally
Sorry
came
for
up
me
today.
reading.
Yeah.
We just, yeah, it just came up, so,
At 5 o'clock.
yeah. But anyways, sorry you're the guinea pig, but I think it's best to do it right going forward, so, but thanks for your comments.
Sorry,
Okay.
Go ahead.
were you saying if we do the fast track, we could have it approved by the 21st, our next council meeting?
Well, I mean, you could do technically 2 readings,
Do one on the 7th before our workshop, do one on the 21st before council meeting, and then do one at council meeting.
right, exactly.
Okay.
So you-
Okay, so that would be best case right,
Okay.
okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, short answer. We want to work with the town on this
Yeah.
one. Yep.
Appreciate it, thanks. Brett.
Okay, you're welcome.
Emily, do you have any questions on that? I just want to make sure you heard all that.
Oh, no, I did, thank you. And no, I don't have any questions.
Okay. We have a motion to table this resolution. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll also work on the fast tracked 7th,
Yeah.
21st.
All those opposed? Okay, motion to table, 504 resolution passes, and we are gonna try to fast track it as quickly as we can for the landowner. Okay, Alpine pretreatment and sludge handling facility request number 4.
So you have in your packet, the drawdown request, for the pretreatment project. In that most recent one, number 4, there was some forklift rental, and for some design review from Mountain Valley Design and Construction. And then, there's a porta potty for the project, and there was an invoice, I believe, for, what's the name of his business?
Jail concrete.
Thank you, sorry. Yeah. So, within that drawdown request, it looks like the total was, let me look. The total amount was $121,811.50 between all the invoices. The reimbursable amount, with the grant money is $97,449.
Okay, and Christine's prepared to submit this.
Yeah, so
Right
we
away.
just need a motion, if council approves, we need a motion, to approve the request and allow Mayor Green to sign it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion for approval, pretreatment and sludge handling facility request number 4, and authorize Mayor Green as the authorized signer for Town of Alpine.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, it was seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries, so we'll get that in progress. Okay, Monica, we have a few things that we need to,
Yeah, so the next items on the agenda are things that we're taking care of since the last meeting, that we wanted to make sure that the council was involved in that process. While council approved the resolution to make the ARPA grant application and allow Mayor Green to sign it, there was 2 additional documents, a resolution and a certification that was in your package this evening for the ARPA funding specifically. And so we would like council to ratify those decisions. But in the course of getting the application on time, they've already been submitted. And then we have drawdown request number 3 that was also submitted for the pretreatment project. That request was a culmination of about $124,000 worth of expenses, some which were incurred on the project back in June of last year, that Christine and I worked together on to get all that documentation together, and she got it submitted because there was, out of that, there's about $98,000 that needed to be reimbursed to the, sewer fund, and literally we were scraping the bottom of the barrel. And so that was also submitted mid-meeting. So we're looking for 3 motions to ratify and authorize the decisions made between meetings.
okay, we'll take these one at a time. Do we have a motion for the first one here?
Make a motion for ratification, give authority for Mayor Green to sign off for Office of State Lands and Investments, Local Government Project, ARPA Grants Certification Statement.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? A motion carries. All right. Next one. Do we have a motion?
Motion for ratification, give Mayor Green authorities to sign off for any local government project, ARPA grants resolution.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And drawdown number 3. Do we have a motion?
Finally, a motion ratification to give Mayor Green authorities for signing off on Alpine pretreatment and sludge handling facility, request number 3.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you for doing that so efficiently. Next, Monica, is the proposed expansion at Melvin Brewing.
Yeah, so, as you're aware of our relationship with Melvin, in assisting with, building the project, one of the requirements of their, recapture agreement with us is that they must notify us and ask for our support to be able to do any capital improvement projects on site. A letter was submitted to the town, to myself, which I've presented to you. Melvin's is asking for the ability to expand their kitchen. And they've included a little map as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, the plans aren't finalized at this point. What they're seeking is the ability to start that, you know, before they spend a huge amount of money, they need our support so that they can then, you know, get their plans finished up, cleaned up, and then go through the permitting process with the town of Alpine.
Brian, do you want to comment?
For the sake of brevity,
Go
I
on.
think it's necessary.
Unless you have a question.
Just, I guess I do. I see the drawings and it looks great. How soon are you looking to get going on this project?
This will be done on the off season, starting this coming winter, 2023, to finish. Obviously, we do a lot more taproom business in the summer, and so we want to coincide with the slower season.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good plan for sure. Does anyone have any questions for Brian while he's up there?
Can't wait.
More bathrooms.
Right.
And then just,
And a kitchen. So-
And a kitchen.
just while we're looking at the plans, so the interior plans, as we get further down the road, whoever you have contact with, just thinking about snow storage. Where's that? Is it a double pitch off the new kitchen? Is it a single pitch? Just of thoughts. I know not right now, but.
Yeah, the engineering is so far down. What we're really just, the old Melvin may not have necessarily asked for permission, asked for forgiveness, but it is not our building. We lease it. So before we start pulling permits and hiring engineers, we want to step through the correct hoops and say, may we add a kitchen and more bathrooms?
Yeah, dig it.
Thanks, Brian. All right, do we have a motion on the table?
If I could, I'd love to make this motion because I am no longer,
You're kind of on fire.
I am no longer involved or attached to Melvin anymore, so I can. I'd like to make a motion to give Melvin permission for proposed expansion at the brewery tap room. Let's see, initial approval of barring any new engineering design work yet to be determined.
Second.
I would like to comment that I think you should change your motion, if at all possible, because you just gave them approval to
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I think you need to give them permission to begin the permitting process.
Yes.
There you go.
Let me amend my motion again. For approval of beginning the permitting process and design process of the expansion of the tap room.
Second.
All right, we have a motion that's been amended. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Aye, sorry.
Emily, thank you. All those opposed? All right, motion carries, so definitely look forward to seeing you go through the permitting process, but I think it'd be a great addition to the property for sure, so good luck on that, Brian. Next, Monica?
Yeah, so the next item on the agenda has morphed out of some recent repayments to the town of Alpine for expenses involving the Klinger property. As many of you are aware, the previous administration, through a committee, had actually explored the option of possibly the town of Alpine developing what they call the Klinger property. And so there was a donation made to support that effort. However, at this point, we really don't see that being the direction that it goes. And so it almost creates a gap where if they're doing something on their project, they then have to ask me to pay the bill. It's very inefficient, not effective. And so, through the conversations recently, we're getting reimbursed for the money that we've spent. And once the check's cleared, I would like permission to close the Klinger account and return the money to the person who donated it.
Yeah, I think it'll be more efficient that way for everybody.
Yeah,
so.
they don't need government in the middle.
Right.
So,
All right, so do we have a motion?
Make a motion to close the Town of Alpine Klinger Development account.
Second.
We have a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion? Should we add on there that we close the account after we've basically settled up with them?
Yeah, I think because
I think
there's
all the-
outstanding bill or a bill that the town's paid, and I think we need to go back through and deduct that.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's all been done through the course of tonight's bills. I think we're good. We just would need it's a money market account. We don't want to take it to zero because then we'll actually get fees. So I'd like it to be closed upon the check clearing.
Should we make an amendment just to state that? Okay.
Make an amendment to the closure of Town of Alpine Klinger Development account.
Yes, it
When the check clears?
Upon all
Upon offers,
checks clearing.
upon checks clearing. Boy,
Okay.
it's tough.
Second. We have a motion that's been seconded. Any further discussion? None. All those in favor of the motion on the table, say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thanks, Monica, for doing that, getting that cleaned up. And then we're also in the process of updating the Town of Alpine policy and procedures. Monica, where's that stand?
Yeah, and so, that has been before the council at your work session, and then Emily and Andrea and I had a meeting where we literally went through that whole thing line by line. And there is one, Jim, you'll have to forgive me, I think there was one suggestion from you when I looked at it, but it was pretty late and I was trying to get everything wrapped up.
Which was that?
Or in the policy and procedure manual?
Yeah, this is just dealings with LGLP in the past over other policy manuals and other towns that I've worked for. They basically said, because we put on the policy and procedure manual that it does not create a contract with the employees, that they are at-will employees. And then when you go through and you have in your policy procedure manual, you have this process for discipline. You're basically nullifying your at-will status. So my suggestion is you take out that discipline. That does not mean that the mayor doesn't have that as a way of working with the employee. It's just not part of the policy and procedure. If that's how he wants to handle it, somebody, wrecks because they're going too fast, but we don't want to, they didn't hurt anybody, but we don't want to fire them, then we're going to talk about it and just put this in the employee. I would just rather that whole procedure process be taken out of the manual.
Okay.
But you may disagree because you've had more experience with policies and procedures manuals, so.
Well, frankly, my concern on this comes from the business world, not from government. So I don't, from that standpoint, you want that in there I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I don't think that impacts anything. This is a temporary update to the policy and procedure manual simply so that we can pay people biweekly and do direct deposit.
Any problem with that at all.
I feel like if you feel that the best move for right now is to approve if we can approve those updates and take out the section on discipline, we can work through that in a moment where it's not gonna, where we have more time.
I agree.
Okay.
Do we have any concern about the changes we basically already made?
That was my only concern.
Okay.
After review.
As far as changing our pay periods and all that stuff?
Right, no, I don't think there's any concern.
Okay. So should we just, have a motion and,
To approve the updates to the policy and procedure manual with the removal of the discipline procedures.
okay. Andrea, do we have a motion? That's an easy one to tackle.
Motion to approve the Town of Alpine policy and procedures update to remove the, what was it? The at-will?
And to remove the
The at-will.
discipline
Oh, the
policy.
discipline policy and update the payroll, pay dates, and ability to provide direct deposit.
Very well.
Second.
Oh. Motion, we have a motion and it's seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of said motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. So we'll just take that out for the time being, and then we'll have more of a chance to look at that in the future here shortly. All right, so now we're gonna go on to our reports, and we're gonna try to jump through these real quick and get you guys out of here. And appreciate y'all sticking around. So I'll go first. We had our first meeting for the master planning, and we had the first meeting of the steering committee, and we had a great meeting, lots of great input. At this point, it's kind of an internal, like go over surveys that were done in the past, try to come up with a new survey that we'll put out there to the public and kind of organize our priorities. So when we go to the public, we look like we've done our homework. So we're still in that process. There's gonna be plenty of time for the public comment. That'll be coming up in the next few months, but that was great. Monica, thanks for putting the dump truck on here. We've got our dump truck that we currently have is named Winnie, and Winnie's struggling, and we're at the point where we need to replace Winnie. Like, we maybe get like a half a day of work out of Winnie, and then she has to go out to pasture, and we might need to just permanently put her out into pasture soon. And the alternative is basically we could sell Winnie, and someone else would be able to take care of her better than we can. But we need to replace Winnie with a dump truck that's more reliable. So we're going to start that process. I know that, Jim, that we have to get like 3 bids. How does that even work on a used vehicle situation?
You don't have to do it with a used vehicle.
Okay.
You can do a request for proposal.
Okay.
On it and send it out.
Get an RFP.
But it doesn't really include, my understanding, I'll have to go back and look at it because it happens once every 4 years.
Sure.
And my memory doesn't go back that far, but my last time I looked at it, I think it didn't include used vehicles, but you just get a request.
Okay.
For proposal.
Yeah, let's look into that and just make sure we're all on the same page. I guess you could also do a capital lease and avoid that.
You can do that, yeah, if you're gonna get a new one.
Yeah.
So,
we'll have to look at that, but hopefully you see a new dump truck driving around town so we can be more efficient with the work that we're doing. So as many of you know, one of my goals was to redesign the website, and we have Melody's doing a great job trying to find some. There's companies out there that specifically work on websites for municipalities, and everything from just the simple look and how all of our information is organized, all the way to they will go through and help us codify all of our resolutions and everything. It's a big process, as Jim can attest. So we've gotten a few bids, and there's one that kind of stands out. We're waiting for a third bid. So hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to tell you guys about that process, but I think it'll really help. And I think we may have the opt-in for your cell phone either on the website already or coming very soon. So we're going to encourage people to start that process where you can opt in, and then whenever anything's going on, say, water's down or low water pressure, whatever, we'll send out a text so everyone in town knows what's going on. So that's in the process right now. So we're kind of excited about that. And then one more quick one. So regarding the ice rink, we had an opportunity that just came up over the weekend to potentially buy a used Zamboni and 150 ice skates from sizes 1 to 13. And so we've been working today to try to get as much information, but it seems like an incredible opportunity to make the ice rink what we've kind of wanted for a long time. We haven't gotten to the point where we, can really make an offer or anything, but I wanted to let everyone know that's in the works, and also get any feedback from the town council on, I think you guys have seen the pictures and everything, but does anyone have any questions or comments regarding that?
For me, just as I told you on the phone, I'm for it as far as getting the ice rink better, but $30,000, I mean, we don't know where our budget is. We're talking about added cost for a new website redesign, added cost for a new dump truck, added cost for the pre-treatment compressor. Of course, that goes under sewage. That doesn't do the general. Added cost for Wade Hershey. Right now, I'd like it, but I feel our money can be spent better elsewhere. I know there's other equipment that Streets and Road need for other trucks that are about to break down or going to break down. You asked me to look into the ice rink at Victor. It's actually not managed by Victor. It's managed by Teton Valley Foundation. And that's where I would suggest to go is if someone is so passionate about an ice skating rink, create your own 501c3, get donations. We're still a small town with a limited budget. Me personally, I don't see spending $30,000 on a Zamboni and some ice skates. Sorry, guys.
Just so we're clear, I think what we would want to do is, as a town, help facilitate this purchase and have the town own it, but then grab interested party that would be similar to parks or like Trails and Pathways that Jeremy heads up, and find the ice rink organization or whatever that wants to help run it and everything. We could also offset a lot of our costs just by coming up with a fee schedule for renting skates, things of that nature. The gentleman that we could buy the Zamboni and the skates from said in 1 year they did $50,000 in revenue just from skate rentals and ice rink rental, basically time.
That's also Rexburg, much bigger population base.
Yeah. But we'll have to. I don't know if we can work out the numbers as far as that's concerned, but I think it also brings opportunities to town where if we were able to, we're also looking at procuring some boards, used boards, locally, that might be an opportunity where we could actually make that an ice rink we could, for example, ask Jackson Moose hockey team to come down and have an exhibition here or something like that. Be incredible. I think we could bring in a lot of, people to town basically for some future events. But I just wanted to put it out there and see if, you guys had any comments on it. But Yeah, sure. Come on up, Maida, if you don't mind.
So I've been very involved in the ice rink, but I'm not actually a skater, and I never made my own rink in my backyard or anything. But people who have and know about this kind of thing have said things like, there's no point in having a Zamboni if the ice is not covered, because all the snow that's coming down on there that you constantly have to move, that problem has to be solved before the Zamboni is really going to help you out. So, and then once you have the Zamboni, where are you going to park it? And so there needs to be some place to put it. So it's not just like 30 grand and then we're set. There's a lot of other things that you have to think about. So Paul Frasinelli is one of those experts. And he's like, you might be better off investing in a shelter for it, a cover for it, kind of like our snow shelter that we have down there, Weatherport Structures. They also make big roof shelters, huge. So we could invest in something like that, and that would help a ton to keep the snow off the ice, because it's a constant thing. So just steps to getting to that. There's not one silver bullet that we could just buy and be solved.
Those are good points. Like, is it Victor or Driggs that has an ice rink in there? Theirs is covered.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor's is covered.
Yeah,
So I think this would be a great first step to getting to there eventually, and it may not happen, but I just wanted to let everyone know that that's possibility. So just literally came up this weekend, so thanks, Maida. Any other comments on that? Okay, Monica, clerk treasurer report.
So today I got, and it's rather timely, like I said earlier, one of the reasons we fast-tracked payment request number 3 is because we had no money in the sewer checking account. And so, really timely, today came in the mail, 2 CD renewals. One was a 1-year, one was a 3-year, both sewer funds. Total of almost $700,000 between the two. I would like permission to roll them into the savings account until the council can go through the budget process and decide where the money's coming from for our match. So, and just work through those dynamics, and that will take the pressure off. Because we did take some money out of another savings to be able to pay bills this month, and that way I can put that back, because I think that may be like reserve for replacement of the wastewater treatment plant, but it was money that we needed to be able to pay the bills. So I'd like to put that money back, and then we'll just put this in the savings, and that should allow us to navigate paying these bills and then wait for reimbursement. And during budget season, though, we've got to figure out where the funds are coming from to pay our portion of the project.
Do we need any motions or anything for her to do that?
Motion to allow her, and then next month we'll have to come around with the budget and cover all that.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to take CD, 1 and 3-year CD, when it comes up for renewal on 3/4/2023, and put it in the wastewater savings account for future buffer. Then once budget season rolls around, reevaluate to put in a new CD.
Do you have a second?
Second. Sorry.
Any discussion? It sounds like it has to happen, so.
Yeah, yeah, and there was, I'd have to look at the financial report. I feel like there was $700,000 budgeted it from reserves to sewer, because I'm assuming there was an anticipation that more of this project would have been paid for by now. Of course, the delays, the longer everything gets delayed, we hold on to our money longer. However, I think, we just need to make sure that that's the best use of the funds. Do we want to drain our reserves through the course of this? So we'll talk about it through budget.
But obviously, that's your recommendation.
What?
Is to cash in these CDs.
For right now, I honestly don't think you should spend all your money.
Yeah, I don't
I
want
think
to
we
either.
should maybe look at getting, a loan to cover our portion. You know, it has less of an impact on rates in the long run. If something comes up and you've spent all your money, then what? So, yeah.
The only problem is we got constitutional problems
Yeah.
about borrowing.
It's the wastewater treatment.
Right, but we're,
That's not restricted.
well, we'll discuss it.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor of, the motion, say aye.
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 Aye? Oh, we lost Emily. Okay. All those opposed?
She said you might.
All right, motion carried. Guess she abstained. Cassell, let's try to go through these pretty quickly here.
And I
Monica?
thought I put that in the packet, but maybe I didn't, because it's not in here.
So Cassell is the accounting system that we would like to purchase.
Yeah.
It's essentially like hiring another employee or reducing the amount of work that our employees have to do. It's like really, really important. We don't need to go in depth on why it's so important, but Monica, do you have all the
Yeah, and
proposal and all that stuff?
Yeah, and I thought I had scanned it into here, but apparently I missed that document when I did this. And so the cost of Cassell will be just about $10,000 a year spread between the three funds. Because the sewer fund, water fund, and general fund utilizes that software. Initially, when we looked at it, and historically when they've bought it, they have purchased the license, purchased the software outright. And so it's much cheaper to look at web hosting. It also provides a unique opportunity, if there's ever another COVID, everybody just goes home and gets on their computer and can keep working. So there's some benefits, if somebody's out of town for, a conference, you could log in.
Yeah,
if
we can
somebody
still,
needed help. It
we
really
can still do business.
Yeah, it provides some more efficiencies. So it's about $10,000 a year. The annual fees won't impact this budget year. They will need to be budgeted for next fiscal year and moving forward. The thing that will impact this budget year is the setup and training costs. There's a lot of work that goes into shifting software like this. So that's going to be about, I believe it was like $9,000. I don't
Initial-
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those fees. So, yeah. So I just wanted to get council's approval to do this and invest in that. And I do honestly believe it's an investment, because the way things are managed right now, and how labor intensive they are, in truth, with some of the things that we even see going on here, and, we're talking about more annexations, there's some in the pipeline, and as the town grows, it's going to continue to put pressure on the office staff to grow without managing how efficient we are.
Right.
Honestly, to hire a part-time person to be able to help do this work would cost you $25,000 a year. This system will cost 10, and we can do it with the people we have.
It also allows us to take payments from our website.
Yes.
For water bills, things of that nature. No more, we could basically get rid of monthly bills that come out.
Well, but in truth, it took me about an hour to do the financial report today. It's not hard. there's nothing hard about it. I have 4 QuickBooks companies. I gotta open one, put some information in, close that one, open the other one, good. I mean, it's, and if somebody else is on it, then I've gotta walk out into the other room and say, hey, could you log out? Because only one person can be in at a time. So there is so much inefficiency to that process. It works.
Cassell gets rid of all that.
Yeah, this
So,
will.
yeah,
It literally allows you to go to one place, doesn't matter who the bill's for, you enter it, you book it appropriately, and it just puts it right where it belongs. So,
And we're gonna simplify that stack of bills and vouchers that you have
it'll,
over there.
the vouchers now are handwritten, and they'll print them.
Print 'em, so.
So
makes
it'll
it very good.
print the bills to pay report. It does all of that. It is designed to do what government requires us to do. So, yeah, we're excited, honestly, about
I
it.
know Jim's familiar with it too, but does anyone have any comments or questions on this?
Should we get a motion?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Votes on the floor.
let's do it.
Motion to purchase Cassell accounting software.
Second.
Then my thought would just be, no, every municipality I've talked with that has this, it's more efficient. It's a no-brainer.
Yep. So, in our motion, we need to make sure that we cover purchase of software, but also the training.
Okay. Amend my motion to purchase Cassell accounting software as well as the training packages that go along with the software.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, our motion was amended. All those in favor of buying the Cassell accounting software and the training package that goes with it, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes, so, yeah, Monica, let's
Thank you.
get going on that right away. Jeremy, do you have a economic development update?
Yep, real quick, not much is happening from my last economic development update. The board is, like I said, reworking from the ground up. Our next meeting will be an all-day meeting in Cokeville to organize a whole new strategy and way of doing business with it.
Right. I want to start attending those, as many as I can, with you as well, so.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Are you available next Monday, the 6th of April, or March? There we go, because I won't be. I'll be
Next
traveling. The first Monday in March.
okay. There's a very good possibility, so let's get
Okay.
together, make sure that we have that covered, but yeah, that's,
Perfect.
is that the one that's in Cokeville?
And that's the one that's in Cokeville. That's the one they encourage mayors to attend,
Right.
whoever is representing.
That's
They
the one you
encourage-
just happened to be out of town traveling.
It just happened to be out of town. It's not my fault. You can blame
Okay.
my wife.
Understand. Where do we stand on the utility easement update for the Hill?
Utility easement, we still keep receiving signed copies in weekly. I've tried to reach out to Heath a couple of times, including again today. Haven't made contact with him. I'll keep on the workout. We're still roughly in that, probably now about 65 to 70% complete, and only 2 no's that I'm aware of as of yet.
How did the no's affect us?
They don't really. Well, one no doesn't really affect us because the 2 lines, we're bypassing that way anyway. The other no could be effective, but it's for Terrace Lane, which that whole lane has concerns.
Okay. Remind me, what percentage do we need to get to of responses? 100% responses?
Well, I mean, ideally, yeah, 100% responses, but they can also work with the lines. So depending on where the lines go. Now, the question is that the fiber can work with the lines. The idea to benefit everybody, and why it's such a great idea, is they're also looking at burying the power lines.
Right.
So that plays a whole different dynamic into it. So really, it's just a matter of seeing who we have, finding out the pattern, the line placement, and kind of building a plan from there.
Yep. if anyone at home or here in the audience knows someone that lives on the hill that might not have information or wants information or feels like this is a negative for them or the town, please encourage them to reach out to us, especially to Jeremy, and get the information, because it'd be a huge coup for us to get fiber up on the hill, and then we're also getting, the power up there as well.
Yeah. In my opinion, fiber's not that big of a deal. I mean, that's going to be outdated probably in 10 years with something else. But the real big is, one, there's already a water line there, so the town needs that already.
Yeah.
So that first and foremost. And then second, being able to bury the power for fire-wise, just safety, that's huge. And it's free. It's free. People pay tens of thousands of dollars for this. It's free.
Well, and at the end of the day, if you don't sign on for fiber, you won't have any internet.
No, you won't. You won't have any internet.
Because the copper's gonna be obsolete.
I'm not a realtor, but I would guess that possibly if you're looking to resell, your property value would be a little bit lower, as opposed to you go in, you're looking to resell, your property value would probably increase by having buried power lines, fiber, and, an easement for utilities. But we do have neighbors that are very encouraged, very happy, very motivated to get everybody on board. The only other hangups are, and I need to get with you, are more of those that have changed hands between now and then. And there's definitely one that has since passed that is, I'm not sure where it stands. I'm not sure where it stands. It's yeah. We'll get together.
Thanks, Jeremy. Let's scoot over to planning and zoning. Mo, do you mind giving us a quick update?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I got voluntold. So it was my first meeting.
Welcome. Thank you for joining planning and zoning.
Absolutely. It's nice to be able to give something back to the community it's been a hot minute. So, so we talked to the Creative Properties LLC. We went through that. We had a workshop before the meeting. We went through a lot of that. There was a lot of things that were brought up in that meeting about, there's been some scuttlebutt about possibly changing zone or changing property lines with with where the commercial buildings are going to be set for future reference. They want to get their property, of course, into compliant, but they were also at some point in time, if it's more congruent for them to change it back to a commercial property due to the fact that there's some property lines, there's some sort of scuttlebutt that there's something that's going to change on the highway side easement or something along those lines. So that was something that I found very fascinating, that we needed to make sure and make a record of that if they wanted to at some point in time change it back to commercial,
Right.
They'd like to. That was one of the big things that we went through, as well as for the meeting. That's about it. It was a short, quick meeting. There's just two of us there, so. Rezone.
It was better than the meeting.
Yeah, it sounds, yes. Must be cautious with the microphones.
Hot mic.
Yes,
remember?
hot mic, yes. We did the rezone, letter of application, that was about it. We also needed to possibly address the handicap parking at the athletic. There's not a handicap parking spot at the athletic place just right over here, from what I understood.
Oh,
Somebody.
in the business building.
Yes, sir. Somebody brought that up in the meeting.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody in the public brought that up, so I was like, oh, okay. So, that was it. That was it.
I don't know what that process is like.
I don't know either.
You just need to reach out to the building owner and just encourage them to put a handicap.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get that sussed out at the next meeting. That's just what we went through over the meeting. And then, of course, I'm sure that y'all will make sure that the P&Z will get the drawings for the Melvin's update, whatever that's going to look like, I assume, as well.
Yep. Brian's going to be on top of that. For
I
sure.
figured. I was just going to ask. That way Christine didn't yell at me later for not asking. So.
Right. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
Tourism board, back to Jeremy.
Reached out to the other board members. We're planning our meetings for this spring. Basically have a meeting come March, April, May, June. So the plan is to put the tourism board essentially on the same fiscal calendar as the town of Alpine. Just makes sense. Monies from the state and county actually go to the town of Alpine, and then get distributed back to the board, or not even to the board, just to where the board recommends to put the monies. It's a delayed process, so it's actually not even going to happen as far as collection goes until April 1st. That's when the hotels, motels, Airbnbs, what have you, that are in the incorporated town of Alpine, they'll start keeping track of the new tax. And basically, it's a monthly distribution. What the state tells me is that we should, as the town, Monica, you'll start seeing funds probably around 1st of June. So I've kind of coined this 2023 as kind of the tourism tax board, whatever you want to call it, the soft opening. One, we're not going to have much funds to work with. Two, those funds that we're going to have to work with may have to just take care of overhead to go through it. But doing the process, it's fairly simple. We'll have our first meeting, we'll be going over our bylaws. We'll give it to our esteemed attorney afterwards for his blessing. And then I would say for anybody looking to submit an application, to do that by the end of March, with knowing that, because I've had people reach out to me, hey, I'd like to do this for funding, I'd like to try that event, this or that. So submit your applications to the town of Alpine, directed at myself. However, know that we may have to say no because there may not be any money for this 23 fiscal year, and it may have to wait till the 24, where we'll have a good amount of money.
Yep. That's great, thanks.
Are your tourism boards meetings, I would assume they're public?
They are public, and I'll let you.
Advertised in.
They haven't. I'm just working on the dates right now. Basically, we're looking at either Tuesday or Thursday, second week in March, April, May, and June.
Well, when you just let me know, and I'll get it taken care of. Was from a financial standpoint, there's no separate account. I mean, was there any conversation about any of that? Do I need to make?
There wasn't any conversation about that, but just for accounting purposes, I definitely have a separate account.
I mean, we can separate it as under the general fund. So, but I didn't know if you need an actual physical separate checking account.
I'll look in. It wasn't said one way or another. When I was talking with the county, it sounded like they had theirs just as a line item.
Okay, yeah, and then we can certainly do that.
100% on that.
But
I think with our new accounting system,
you'll just have
a line item.
Yeah, they'll have a budget and.
Yeah, and we're looking at it with the system doing pooled operating account, which means all the money will go in the same account. So
we won't have to transfer money around to pay
one account
versus the other. It just kind of tracks it.
It'll just be booked.
Yeah. Okay, so Dominique's engineering update. Thanks for sticking around.
I provided a written report, and it has a lot of information in there. It was my first one, just giving a breakdown of all the things that we've been working on, essentially for the past 2 months since you approached us. Provided the budget and what we've spent so far. And really, Bob also provided an update for the pretreatment plant. Unless there are any questions, I would just say that a little action item for us is just to talk about the pretreatment building plans. They need to go in front of DEQ and the fire marshal. DEQ can take a couple months to review. And so the council just needs to make the decision of if you want to go out to bid before DEQ has approved the plans. Obviously, there's some risk. I think it can be mitigated if we go to DEQ with a pre-application meeting. Talk to them, go show them what we've got. Should help navigate any surprises, but schedule risk.
Yeah.
Jim?
Schedule risk is your department.
I think you need to talk to DEQ first and kind of get some ideas so we don't have surprises.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is something that we can definitely touch base again at the workshop, because I expect that we'll hopefully have DEQ's ear within the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, so just something to put a pin in.
I guess let's just wait, maybe you can get some sort of initial feedback from them on that. But yeah, I'd really love to get those plans out to some contractors and get some bids. And I mean, we gotta keep this thing on track. And I imagine if we had to wait 2 months just to get bids, or just to give the plans out to people to get us bids back, it's gonna really put us behind. So, yes, whatever you can do to push that forward, I'd really appreciate it.
We're almost there. We're almost to the point where the DEQ can review it, and then after that, I imagine that's out of my hands. I don't know if I can push the DEQ.
No.
But yeah,
just get maybe an initial.
try to do whatever we can in
Right.
tandem. Yeah. Did anyone have any questions about the report? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
extensive. Thanks.
I
And Bob's
just
report.
love this.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Good.
it's really.
Yeah, what Monica's referencing is basically the
Cool.
what you've used, what we have left on a monthly basis. So that's great.
Percentages, everything. It was-
Yeah, just for full transparency, so that you can see where we're headed and where we've been, and just help with priority setting and things like that, so.
All right.
Okay, great.
Thanks. We'll put you up first on the list next. Nata, you're next. We'll let you two rock, scissors, paper next. This is Parks and Rec. Made it, thanks.
So I'm not sure what exactly you want in these updates. I wrote these things. First of all, do you want the official positions, the official?
Oh, yes.
You do, okay, because I didn't know if you got those. So chair is Kathy Mitkowska, and we kind of defined what those things do, but I mean, she's the primary contact person, and we're still ironing that out. We need a town email address, like an official town email address that we can all have a password to, but so we have one voice coming from one email address, and then people communicate back to one email address. And if you want to call someone, the chair, just so that we're all on the same page. We're not like all responding to different people, and because that makes some chaos. And then Shay Scafidi is the vice chair, and so she's kind of like backing up the chair, doing a lot of the same things. I'm the secretary, and so I send the notes to like Dawn, the liaison, who then communicates to you on the Monday meetings, and kind of summarize our meetings, send it out our tasks to all of our other board members. Jen Walker is the social media and marketing coordinator. Kim Taft is our budget person who coordinates with Monica about how much money do we have and how much do we need to raise if we're doing a project. So, and then Monica is our official treasurer. Sound good?
Right, thanks.
Okay. And then you had mentioned surveys, that you guys have some town surveys you're going to look at. And we've been putting together a survey trying to find the people that we want to help lead some different things and see what people are most interested in at the Civic Center and at our sports park. And I'm wondering if we should combine that with your surveys, or are you sending these out still, or are these old survey results that you're looking at?
The survey that I was referencing directly relates to the master planning. I don't know if it correlates directly with that. It might be a totally different survey that needs to go out. But, so, yeah. Well, we definitely, I think we should work on your survey so we can get it out as soon as possible before that whole other survey that could help lead some of the discussion in the master planning process.
Okay, I don't want to confuse and over-survey people where they're like, oh, I already filled out the survey from town, if there's, multiple surveys going out, so I don't want to confuse people.
We'll try that.
Competing surveys. Yeah.
So that would be important. If you could
Yeah.
get your survey done as soon as possible, then it won't hopefully conflict or confuse anyone when we get that master planning one sent out.
Cool, and if we can send it out via the same channels that you are using, then people are like, this is a legitimate survey from town.
600 names in the email list.
That'll
right
do.
now.
Yeah,
So-
our first survey for the master plan was kind of focused to specific Alpine residents only.
Right.
So it was 600 to 700 folks that we have email addresses because of sewer and water.
Mhm.
We know that it's going to an Alpine resident, or at least an Alpine homeowner.
Okay, cool. Cool. And I also would like to reach people beyond Alpine for some things, like fencing. My son really wants to do fencing. I don't know if there's any fencers here, but maybe there are down in Thane. And so, we may want to go a little bit beyond for some questions, but maybe Jim can hook us up with a fencer from Thane, or...
Lots of fencing that needs to be.
I think a different fence.
All right. Okay.
Maybe I want to try fencing.
So it's so hot right now, but I will let you know. We'll put the
Survey that you guys did, 4 years ago?
yeah.
And it seemed to me that had great reach.
It did.
Beyond.
Yeah. Beyond Alpine. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So maybe we did that on social media. We didn't really do it through the town, so we may do that a little bit more too. So then this March 7th thing, I just want to clarify. So that is a town workshop, a master plan type workshop, but the rec board is also doing something there, some work there. Is that true?
what is March 7th? Which one?
It's our work session.
It's a work session?
Yeah. First one in March.
Yes.
Okay, so you're asking if you can be on the agenda for that work session?
Yeah, I think that we are. I was told about it, so I think we are, right? But
On the agenda.
okay.
Yeah, so if
Well-
you want to be on the agenda, there's going to be very limited items, I think, because I think we overdid it the last time. We already have 2 good items
Yeah.
on there now, so just reach out to me, email me, let me know what the subject is, and I will get you on it.
Well, and the reason, because I don't know what I'd be doing on it, but one thing I would do is tell people to come if they want to be involved. I was picturing it as like a town hall type thing where people can come and, for example, we are working on revising the Civic Center use policy. So if people who give classes want to have give input into that process, I was going to say, come to this March 7th thing. But if it's not,
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. So like, for example, someone who might want to come and say, I'd like to give input into how I want to use the Civic Center. But is it not meant to be something like that? Is it more of like a whole town thing and I have one little bullet,
Yeah.
right?
We'll look at the agenda and just maybe we'll help figure that out. We may have to encourage people to come to your next public meeting or something to give you that feedback.
Okay.
But yeah, we're kind of killing people with these 2-hour meetings.
Super long,
But,
yeah.
It's good information, but anyways,
Yeah,
we
it's-
just want to make sure you have the support that you need from us but
Okay.
we'll try to come up with the best way to do that. So.
Okay. So understanding what our role would be if we're supposed to be on the agenda of that, and it's not to talk with the public about uses of the Civic Center. It's not that. It's maybe to give you our ideas about how the Civic Center might be used, like our draft.
Yeah.
It's more like that.
Let's just see if we have enough to talk about. And
Okay.
Put you on the agenda.
Okay, cool. And so I think as for our meetings, I think our meetings would benefit from having the public involved. And we had a meeting, nobody came, and then we realized it wasn't advertised. It wasn't in the paper, it wasn't anywhere. Yeah, so we need to find a way to get that out so people can come, because we only have to have these quarterly. And so if we're only having 4 a year, people should come.
Yeah, and that was 100% my fault. When I sent out all of the advertising that week, there was multiple attachments. I
Yeah.
thought I attached yours and it didn't.
Okay, okay, cool.
Even if
100% me.
we get it on the agendas that, or, what Melody's been putting out.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Putting out an email every Monday with kind of what the scheduled events for the week, so we just need to
Okay.
make sure that she has that on there
Okay,
when you have a meeting, but, yeah.
okay.
We'll definitely make sure the public knows when you have a meeting coming up, and we'll try to get tens of people there.
Yeah, heads, fill the room.
Yes.
And then just being early on the agenda, because I've got a 6-year-old, like, been on the
I
screen
know,
all
I'm so
night.
sorry.
I feel like a bad mom, but, because sometimes we both need to be here, and so just if I can be early, then I can leave
Yeah,
early, and,
We're gonna
yeah.
look at that. We're kind of apologize because we're trying different things and figure out what's best for the whole process, but,
Yeah.
and we're happy to get most of the people here for all the action items, but I understand these, tend to go long, and having you at the end isn't always conducive to having 6-year-olds here.
Right, right.
But thanks, Maida.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. I think that's the end of the reports, isn't it? We have some written reports
And they were attached.
yeah, they're attached to the packet. If anybody wants to go, check out those written reports. Anything else, Monica?
No.
All right. Do we have a
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. It's been seconded.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor? All right.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
So which one was first?
Jeremy just barely.